Was goody? I haven't been here in a minute and I haven't done this in a while, but it feels good to be back for the short time that I'll be back for. Yo, what's good, my people? How y'all been? How y'all been? I hope y'all been growing. Hope y'all been learning. Hope y'all been, just improving, man. Just getting better at what it is that you've been trying to do, whether it be this journey with the Most High or, just a hobby or an interest that you like to up your skill in. Today I bring to you a video about seeded versus seedless fruit, and I just wanted to use watermelon as an example in particular. First and foremost, if y'all ain't eating your fruits, y'all should get on that. Fruits are they're really nourishing. They heal and they make you feel better. Like some fruits literally give you a natural high. One being, for example, the watermelon. Another being ginger. And I will attest to that. I drink smoothies with ginger a lot, and that burn, it brings a nice little sensation. But I digress, man. Seedless versus seeded fruit. Okay, so of course, I'm leaning toward the argument for seeded fruits. Seeded are always better. I'm going to say that again. Seeded are always better. They always have more nutrients. They're always healthier for you. They always taste better. Well, not always. I feel like sometimes those GMO fruits can be like really sweet. But that's not painting the picture I'm trying to paint. I really want to bring to you guys today why you should be having seeded fruits over the seedless or natural fruits that grow in nature over some GMO or hybrid fruits that were designed in labs. All right, so first and foremost, this watermelon here, rich in vitamin A, rich in water, hydrates you, rich in vitamin, rich in iron, magnesium, all of that good stuff, right? And a seedless watermelon, it'll still have some of the good stuff. It'll still have your 92% water. It would still have your vitamin A, your vitamin C, your iron, your magnesium, and all have you. But it will be at a much lower density. It will be at a much lower percentage of nutrients and vital substance within the fruit. Nature is always better. Nature is always better. The seedless fruit is watered down, and that means less minerals, less nutrients, less flavor, and less water. And apart from that, this thing of a fruit being seedless is it unnatural, but it could actually have some bad long-term effects for your body. The same as eating GMO'd meat. The same as eating chicken breasts or chicken wings grown in labs, And I'll tell you why. So, these things, they fuel infertility. You know what I mean? Whether it be seedless fruit or lab-grown meat, they feed infertility. Side note, Bill Gates is funding hella labs that are growing fake lab-grown meat, and you need to stay away from that because that meat is literally designed with the purpose to make you infertile. Your sperm count low. The vaccine tried doing that already. Women, ovaries, your ovary count will be low. Lord forbid, your womb may be, infertile as well. So try to stay away from that. I digress. Seedless fruit compared to seeded fruit comes with a lack of knowledge, a lack of information, a lack of programming, a lack of genetic code, in from a perspective of DNA. So what I mean by this is that seeded fruit, because they're seeded, because they have that natural inherent ability to reproduce, through the seed, you break that seed down to its very nature, to its very cellular structure. The body breaks that down, it interprets it, and it restructures it into your body so that your body carries that knowledge and information on how to reproduce, on how to grow a seed, on how to bear seed, you know? Whereas GMO meat, I mean lab grown meat or seedless fruit, does not have that, you know? It never had a seed in the first place. So therefore, that information, that knowledge isn't there. Now, I'm not saying that if you eat seedless fruit, you will become infertile. But compared to someone who eats seeded and natural fruit, you will have a lower probability or a lower percentage of birth output, if that makes sense. Now, I wanted to get the knowledge and information part out of the way. Okay, just to get to into the more biological side of things. So, a traditional watermelon, regular natural watermelon, is pollinated. It could either be by wind, water, humans, insects. You guys study this in school. But yeah, so it is naturally pollinated, and when those seeds are born into the soil, it grows into a maturing plant which produces the fruit. On the other hand, with seedless, there is a hybridization process, and what they do is they bring together the diploid and the tetraploid plant, and what that does is it forms a new plant. It brings two qualities from those separate plants, and it forms a new plant, which is seedless because it was never supposed to exist in the first place. It's like that animal, the liger. You can go on YouTube and search the liger, which is a genetic hybrid of a tiger and a lion, which would never happen in the wild, nor is it supposed to. That is something not approved of by the Most High. In fact, I believe in the book of Deuteronomy or Genesis. I believe it was Deuteronomy. He says, "Do not mix unlike seeds." And by that, he meant exactly that, by doing this or creating animals such as ligers, and that animal was like, it wasn't even made from a tiger and a lion naturally mating. They took the egg of one and the sperm of another, and they forced it together in a lab, and it created a liger, which would never be able to exist outside in the wild on its own, because it is very big and it is very lazy, and also its biology isn't refined. I'd say, like, it wouldn't live long, like it would probably live a few years before its body starts to break down. And apart from that, it can't hunt because it's so lazy, and it's slow because those two animals were not supposed to mix. But anyways, once again, I digress. So, God, the Most High, made it in this life that all living things reproduce, right? Everything that is alive, everything that is, that has a life, has the inherent ability to recreate itself, without even working hard. You don't even have to go to school. You don't even have to go to, college to make another you, to reproduce, to create another you. Even a homeless crackhead can have a baby, So, what would be the point of creating a living thing that cannot reproduce? Like just having this living organism just live for however X amount of years or however X amount of months, according to what it may be as an animal. The Most High would not do that. That is against it. That does not make sense. That would be against purpose. Everything that's alive has an ability to reproduce. It's best to only consume seeded fruits and vegetables instead of seedless, due to the fact that nature never makes anything without the ability to reproduce. Keyword here is nature. To be seedless, the crop has to be hybridized, which alters the natural state of the plant and diminishes nutritional value. So man-made fruits, they destroy the body, while nature's fruits made from nature, they heal, they revitalize, they cure, they regenerate, they recuperate, they alleviate, they repair, they replenish, and they restore. And that's the power of nature. To regenerate, to regrow, and to be made anew. And praise be to the Most High, the creator of nature. Thank you guys. I'm gone.